America, land of the free, home of the brave, and increasingly, a bureaucratic nightmare for international students. In recent years, the US government has implemented a series of policy changes that have left many students feeling unwelcome, uncertain, and frankly a little bit terrified. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive into the wild world of US visa policy and its impact on those seeking education on American soil. The heart of the issue lies in a new policy that significantly expands the authority of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, as it's more commonly known. This policy has sent shockwaves through the international student community, leaving many wondering if the American dream of higher education is still within their reach. Imagine, if you will, the already stressful life of an international student. You're navigating a new culture, trying to keep up with demanding coursework, and probably subsisting on a diet of instant ramen and questionable cafeteria food. Now, add to that, the fear that a minor visa infraction could result in your expulsion from the country. That's the reality facing many international students under this new policy. Previously, students with revoked visas could still remain in the US to complete their studies. However, this new policy grants ICE the power to terminate a student's legal status based on visa revocation, effectively pulling the rug out from under them. This expansion of ICE's authority has been met with widespread criticism, with many arguing that it gives the agency too much power and creates an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty among international students. To make matters worse, the government has been using a rather blunt instrument to identify students who might be in violation of their visa terms, the National Crime Information Center, NCIC, database. Now you might be thinking, hold on, isn't that the database for criminals? And you'd be right, the NCIC database contains records of suspects, missing persons, and arrestees. Yes, you read that right. Even if you haven't been charged with a crime, simply being listed in this database could put your student status at risk. This approach has been widely condemned as a gross overreach of government authority, sweeping up innocent students in a dragnet targeting potential criminals. It's like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut, except the nut is someone's education and the sledgehammer is the threat of deportation. The human cost of this policy is perhaps best illustrated by the case of Akshar Patel. Akshar, an international student in Texas, found himself caught in the crosshairs of this bureaucratic nightmare when his student status was abruptly terminated. His case, which eventually landed in federal court, became a flashpoint in the debate over the government's treatment of international students. Judge Ana Reyes, who oversaw the case, didn't mince words in her criticism of the government's actions, calling out the lack of concern for affected students and the hasty, seemingly arbitrary nature of the termination process. Akshar's case, while ultimately resolved in his favor, serves as a stark reminder of the very real consequences of these policy changes. It's a story of uncertainty, fear, and the fight for basic fairness in a system that often seems determined to punish, rather than support. As the new policy takes effect, uncertainty spreads through the community. People are left wondering how these changes will impact their daily lives. Questions arise and answers seem scarce. The atmosphere is thick with anxiety, and confusion reigns supreme. It's a time of transition, and everyone is looking for clarity in a sea of doubt. In the world of international education, the term red flags has taken on a new meaning. For many students, these red flags represent hurdles that can jeopardize their dreams of studying in the United States. It's not just about paperwork or visas, it's about the fear of being unfairly scrutinized or rejected. The controversial policy that once threatened international students has been reversed, but the scars remain. Students and educators alike are left questioning the stability and reliability of the system. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. So, what does the future hold for international education in America? It's a question on everyone's mind. With new policies and changing global dynamics, the landscape is ever evolving. But one thing is clear, the contributions of international students are invaluable and their presence enriches the academic and cultural fabric of the nation. America has long been known as a nation of immigrants, a melting pot of cultures and ideas. But recent challenges have put this identity to the test. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember the values of inclusion and diversity that have made this country a beacon of hope for so many around the world.